Welcome back. It's killing more people in our community every day.
23 News Weekend anchor Kathleen Cohen explains what's being done to help stop the heroin epidemic and where addicts can go to get help without being prosecuted.
It is out of control. It's a growing problem.
An epidemic plaguing our country and right here in the state line. Dixon Police Chief Danny Langloss says as bad as the heroin problem is, it's just the beginning.
What people have to understand with heroin and this opiate addiction is 4 out of 5 people who are addicted to heroin started on opiate pain medication.
That's why a new program called the Safe Passage Initiative started in Dixon back in September and expanded to Whiteside County in March. So far, the Safe Passage program has helped 66 people get treatment. The initiative works with dozens of law enforcement agencies around the state line and is planning on spreading to Freeport.
See that pretty good.
Safe Passage focuses on 4 areas: prevention, education, treatment, and enforcement. Langloss believes the state line needs to emphasize all 4 areas in order to tackle the heroin epidemic. The Drug Enforcement Administration has something similar.
The 360 approach is 3-pronged: the enforcement, the diversion, which would accompany doctors, people who prescribe pain management clinics, and getting out there and educating them as far as the dangers of opiate addiction and heroin addiction. And then lastly, the 3rd tier or 3rd prong would be the community outreach as to where we're getting out in front of schools.
Clinical pharmacist Kirk Schubert believes we will see an increase in opioid regulations.
I think if we continue to see this heroin epidemic continue, we'll see tighter and tighter controls on our narcotics. We'll see more and more government involvement, whether that's the FDA or the DEA, watching prescription trends.
But will the heroin epidemic get worse before it gets better? Winnebago County Coroner Sue Fiducia doesn't think so. She believes with proper education, the number of heroin users will decline.
There's more concern, and so there's more work being done on it. When we go to schools, we talk about it. Police officers, when they go out there, community services, they talk about it.
The Dixon Police Chief disagrees.
Well, I think overall it's going to get worse before it gets better. I don't think it's going to get worse in Dixon, but for places that don't get out and get out in front of it, it's going to get much worse.
Efforts are in place to make sure that law enforcement are prepared for the future and working to make sure the epidemic doesn't continue.
I think all of the people involved in drug overdoses, from your doctors to your nurses, to your EMS, to your coroners, to your police, to your law enforcement, to everybody that's involved, they're trying to ask those questions now. Do you know how they got involved? How did this get started? So our mental health people are then trying to look at that and see if there isn't a way, is there a common ground there?
Kathleen Cohen, 23 News.
And Dixon's police chief says he's working with Rockford Police to expand the Safe Passage program to our area.
But since Rockford has a bigger population, it could take a while to get the resources together to make the initiative successful.
Well, nearly every hotel in Rockford is booked this week.